Hello, I'm Ty Whittingham, and welcome to my channel, Google Ads Training and Consulting. Today, I have a special video for you. It is a live account review with a man named Oliver out of South Africa. Without further ado, here's the video.
100% clear.
Awesome. So Oliver, first of all, I just want to thank you for reaching out. I think it's fascinating how we can just put an ad on the internet and all of a sudden there's somebody on the other end.
Exactly.
So the very specific thing that I want to accomplish through this tactic of posting a YouTube video and putting a link on there and then telling people that I'll give them a free Google Ads account review is to one, help as many people as possible, but two, be able to create more quality content without just me sitting here talking to a camera all alone in my room. And so it's kind of a double whammy. So please, if there are any questions at any moment where you're like, hey, this right here that you said didn't make sense, or hey, stop, I have a question about this, please stop me and ask that question so that, because you're likely not the only one to have that question.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so I am going to go ahead and share my screen now.
Okay.
And in this, I am going to open up the answers that you submitted. You very diligently went through every page of the form, and I've gotten 7 responses on this so far. I sent over a link to your Google Ads account. Have you had a chance to accept that? I didn't.
Yes.
Okay, so you did accept it. Let me come into here and see if I can open it, or maybe I could come into here. All right. My internet has been going tremendously slow. I don't even.
That's what we used to say in South Africa. It was like really slow, but now it's getting a little bit better.
Yeah. We're going to go ahead and hold. I'll just let that load. But if you accepted that, then great. We'll be able to come in and look at that. But it looks like, for me, how do you describe your brand, Herbalife? So what you do MLM. You are participating in an MLM, the Herbalife MLM. And how long have you been doing that?
9 years.
9 years. All right. So if you've been doing it for 9 years, it must be working. Is that
absolutely,
a solid assumption?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Is it your sole source of income, or do you do other things?
It's my sole source of income.
All right.
That's all I do. Yeah.
And how do you currently get your new leads, your new business?
Currently, I'm using a Facebook advert on my Facebook page. Okay. And that's working pretty good. But a long time ago, a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, I was doing a lot of Google ads. I think I must have spent, I don't know if I have to convert it into dollars, maybe altogether, maybe $10,000 on ads. Obviously, you can see it's in rands. So you have to divide it 3 times about 10 to get to dollars.
Ah, I see. So
no. So basically, 1 rand is like $10. So yeah. So you divide it by 10.
So seeing 248 that rand. You said multiply by 10, so that would be 2,000.
Divided by 10.
Okay, so that would be $25. Well, I'm a little slow.
$25. Yeah. So if you look at the lifetime, if you go into the lifetime, I don't know if it'll be this campaign or of all time. I think it's at the bottom there.
Okay, 97K, which divided by 10 is about 9,700.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So out of this 97K, let's see, when did it start? It started all the way back in 2012. So pretty much throughout the duration of all of this. You have been using Google Ads, except you stopped here. How come you stopped here during?
I stopped for a little while because of, I think it was because of the website that I was running. Basically, it was just like an online shop, and it wasn't duplicating in my team. So people, part of Herbalife, the MLM thing, you need to duplicate what you're currently doing. And so that website isn't active if you have a look at it now. But so it wasn't duplicating my team, and it wasn't kind of a fair way of, just by having an online shop isn't really a fair way of doing Herbalife. Let's just say it that way.
Okay.
So I stopped it. But now I want to run. So basically my goal is to advertise a 10-day clean eating challenge, right?
Okay.
So advertising a 10-day clean eating challenge. My goal is, I'm not looking specifically. I watched a video on your bullet. What was it? The bullseye, right?
Yep.
And I'm not specifically looking for just people that are looking for weight loss.
Okay.
Only because it takes time to convert them to accept Herbalife.
As a business opportunity.
Well, not really as a business, as both, because Herbalife has got the product and the business, or both. So somebody can choose to have either the product or the business or both. Now in South Africa, we're not allowed to, there's a moratorium against advertising the business online. So we have to find other ways. It's just a rule that's in South Africa. There's a few more countries that's like that, but not all countries. So the way we do it is the way I'm doing it is I'm advertising for a 10-day clean eating challenge, but my keywords are specifically somebody that's looking for Herbalife, somebody that a friend of theirs got a result on the products at work, for example. So what are they going to do? They're going to say, wow, hey, you're looking amazing. And then they're going to not ask them what they're doing. They'll ask them what they're doing, and then they're going to go to Google and they're going to go and type Herbalife.
Yep.
Okay. And so that's the kind of person that I'm looking for. Somebody that is really looking, that's already sold, they're really convinced that Herbalife is what they want to do.
Okay.
I don't know if it goes with your theory, but I'm just saying what my experience is.
Absolutely. So let me just jump in there and say the bullseye targeting theory is really agnostic to any industry. We don't necessarily care what the people's intentions are or what you are looking for. We just have to decide, and we have to designate the center of the bullseye to our particular goal. And so if you are looking for somebody who already knows about Herbalife and wants to participate in everything that is Herbalife, then that will be the center of your bullseye. If you can't do business, if you can't advertise business opportunities per se, then that wouldn't necessarily be part of your targeting. But as people are
Well, I'd be able to target through keywords people that are looking for a business opportunity, but not necessarily in the advert itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So first of all, let me, as I'm pulling this up, let me just make sure that I have the right targeting. So South Africa is the only country that you want to target. Is that correct?
Yeah, for now, yeah. I'm pretty happy with that.
Okay. So what you're saying is that in South Africa, you cannot target people looking for something like business opportunity MLM.
Well, there's a difference, I think, between targeting and creating an advert that says, join my team, work from home. If you could target someone who wants to do work from home and then show an advert about Herbalife without having to say, join my team. So yeah, I suppose you can't target someone saying work from home and then send them to a 10-day belly buster challenge or 10-day clean eating challenge.
Yes.
You
Yes.
could, yeah, you could send them to like if I branded myself as a Herbalife wellness coach, and I didn't specifically say join my team, earn extra income in the advert, in the caption of the advert itself, but in the
Okay.
keywords, I mean, nobody can see that except for Google.
Yes.
Does that
Okay.
make
So
sense?
this, yes. And I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. So let me make sure I understand. So what is not allowed is for you to say that you are that you want people to join your MLM team.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. But
That's it.
you
So
can
not allowed to
say
say that.
it, but you can
Carry on.
say, if somebody's searching like how to lose weight, then you could have an ad that says 10-day clean eating challenge. Or if they're searching MLM or business opportunity, then you could say, I am a Herbalife coach, learn
Yeah,
about Herbalife. And then
that's cool.
on your page,
Mm.
could you say, join I'm an Herbalife coach, and the goal is I want you to join my team, and I want to coach you through this. So here, submit your information and let's chat. Would that be okay?
No, not on the page. Not on the page either.
Okay,
No.
so
But
nowhere
I take it if I take it offline. So what I'm doing is a lot of what I try and do is I try and get them onto. I don't know if you guys use WhatsApp, like Messenger or
yes,
Telegram.
actually, very interesting. I
I
started
know
using it
America
last
doesn't
week.
use WhatsApp that much. Really, WhatsApp.
Yeah, I used it for the very first time last week. Somebody asked me, they're like, "Hey, can you please use WhatsApp?" But yeah, I just barely started
That's so
using
cool
it.
because I know a lot of people in America do not use or yeah WhatsApp, and I think you guys use Telegram or something else. I don't know what you guys use. Maybe Facebook Messenger or whatever.
Yeah,
But
Facebook.
in South Africa, it's huge, 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 huge. Everybody uses it. So what I do is like even with my Facebook ad, from my Facebook ad, I take they just click on the ad and they send me a message on my phone, and then I start chatting them on my phone, and I can chat about the products and can chat about the business because that's a private conversation that we're having on my phone.
Gotcha. And so you'd want to say, like, if we were to target something to the effect of MLM opportunities, work from home business opportunities, then you would say, my ad, I'm a Herbalife wellness coach. Chat with me to learn more. Hey, message me on WhatsApp. Hey,
Yeah,
join my team.
yeah. Yes, in the WhatsApp you can say
Yes,
join my team.
in the private message, or
Yes.
maybe a phone conversation or a
Yeah, yeah.
conversation like this, then
Well,
you would be able to say join my team, but not until it's private and offline. In nowhere of your advertisements are you able to say, hey, join my team.
you got it, yeah.
All
And
right,
that's the
I'm getting
key.
it.
That's really important for us. And just to say quickly, so we don't really do many phone calls anymore because of WhatsApp. Everybody's just is just like a phone call is like a pain in the bum, when you get a phone call nowadays.
Yeah.
It's like instant messaging on WhatsApp is just so much easier. So a lot of people who are from lower, like middle class, lower class, everybody's got some kind of instant messaging, which is it's WhatsApp. So you can target all kinds of people that are looking for income, people that are looking for the products, that kind of thing.
Gotcha. That's very interesting. That actually gives me some good ideas.
Okay.
Because like you said, you are willing to get on this call and hopefully are going to get some value from it. But there's probably 10 or 20 other people who would have messaged me instead.
Yeah.
Okay. So work from home, 36 work from home jobs. So it looks like there's decent search volume for pretty much all of everything that you're wanting to target. And the landing page that you're wanting to use for this 10-day clean eating challenge is this right here. Coach Oliver and Taryn. Is Taryn your girlfriend, wife, or just
My wife,
business partner?
yeah, my wife.
Wife. All right. Click on WhatsApp button for more info. Open 24 hours.
Okay, so that's so you can scroll up a little bit, scroll down to the top of the page. That get quote is supposed to be send WhatsApp. For some reason, Google Business, it keeps on changing it automatically. But I've set up another page similar to what yours is, if you want to have a look at it. Because I only started doing this again recently, so like last week. So if you want to go to www.oliver-ramos, it's a Portuguese surname, www.oliver.
Fala português, então?
Yeah.
Poderíamos fazer essa conversão em português.
A gente pode falar Good.
Yeah.
Oliver dos Ramos.
Yeah.
Oliver dos Ramos. Well done. Where did you learn how to speak Portuguese?
Morei no Brasil por 2 anos.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now Brazilian is difficult to understand from, like, because my parents are from Portugal. I was born in South Africa, and Brazilian's got a little bit of a different dialect.
Yeah, it's more like Portuguese. Portugal Portuguese is kind of like UK English or South African English, where Brazilian Portuguese is like US English.
Yeah.
Seems
yeah.
to be. Okay,
Seems
so Oliver dos Ramos.com. Gotcha.
Let's see if you like this better.
I like the one that converts better. So I don't know which one yet, but I'll go ahead and tell you my
Facebook ads converting. None of these are converting right now.
Let's see if we can change that. Okay, so here's your site. And so Oliver and Taryn, welcome to our world. We're community builders and change your lives. Are you ready to change your life? Yeah, I actually like the other one a little bit better. just to start, only because you just don't have a lot of content here.
All right.
If you had more content, let's see. Let me show you.
I only did it today. I copied it. I really did it now, just before I call.
Oh, okay. Well, if you did it just before our call, let me just show you what that reminds me of. I was looking through some other review sites, and why is that not working?
I just want to edit that site so that you can have, for some reason, it loses the WhatsApp button. Let me just see.
And maybe it's because I'm on a desktop. Did you only do the mobile version?
No, I don't know. I think it's a glitch in Google Business something. I've updated it. If you refresh, it should be there.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go refresh in one moment. But your page reminds me quite a bit of this page. So this is a review for a subscription box that I work with. And they just have a lot of large pictures with a little bit of text. And the text explaining it, of course, but down at the bottom, the call to action. And so what just the thing that I'd recommend here is, as you continue to build this out, really tell the story and sell people on the emotional aspect of what they're doing. And instead of saying Oliver and Taryn here at the top, of course, you're probably already going to do this, but I would put some far more interesting headline that will indicate what people are about to get themselves into.
Okay.
But yeah, I like this, and I think that either one of these has a good shot at being a good converter for you. So WhatsApp right here. Gotcha. Click on the WhatsApp button. So on Facebook, let me make sure I understand here. So Facebook ads are currently working. Google ads are not necessarily currently working.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that works about your Facebook ads are people see your Facebook ad and then see this WhatsApp number on Facebook and then message you directly, or they're clicking on your Facebook ad, going to this page, seeing this, and then messaging you.
No, they click on the link, and then let me see if I can show you one. So that, I don't know if it's going to come out clear. So there's a number. Oh, what happened now? Okay, so there's a link, and they click on that link. If I click on, let me open up that link. I'll copy it and just put it in the browser, or try to paste and search. Just
So
getting rid
someone
of.
goes, is it a messenger ad that you're using? Or they interact with the Facebook ad and they then get sent the message with the link?
It's just a Facebook ad. It's basically a Facebook post.
Okay.
Okay, which I cannot get to. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Once I understand, then we're going to hit the ground running. It's the
No problem.
gathering of all the information that.
Okay, so I don't know if you can see that.
Yep.
Okay.
Got it.
And then somewhere here there must be oh, there's the button there.
Gotcha. So chat and go ahead and, is that just a screenshot or could you actually click that live link?
No, it won't let me click it. But
Okay.
it basically, once I click that link, it sends me, it will send the person directly to WhatsApp. It'll go.
Gotcha. And then they begin messaging you.
Yeah, so it's like a straight connection.
Okay, so that's what I was wondering. So they see Facebook ad and then direct link into WhatsApp where they begin messaging you. Okay, so on Google, then what they're going to have to do, because Google search in particular, it has far less space than Facebook does. So they're going to have to click on the Google ad, then go to your landing page, and then be encouraged to click on WhatsApp. So what I would say is on your landing page, whichever one you use, try and replicate your Facebook ad as closely as possible, as far as just the content and information that you have on there, because it's not your landing page that's selling people. And this is what people don't necessarily grasp about why Facebook ads work so well. Facebook ads are like a landing page in themselves. You can put so much information in your Facebook ad and sell the person emotionally right there on Facebook that they are ready to convert. They don't need another page. All they have to do is get the content in that Facebook ad and then click whatever call to action you want, and they're ready to go directly into the messenger. Because we're on Google and they just search something like how to eat better or lose weight by eating better, and then they see the 10-day clean eating challenge ad, they're not ready to convert yet. And so by just having the WhatsApp button at the very top, you may get intrigued people who are just curious and want to learn a little bit more, clicking on that button, but they're not going to be converted yet. They're not going to be messaging you and be like, hey, I just saw your information and I'm ready, like here. And then it'd be a much shorter messaging process opposed to people just saying, hey, what exactly is it that you do? And then you kind of have to go through the back and forth of that. And so I would say on either landing page, just bump your vital information up, the same type of information up the page that you are using on your Facebook page, on your Facebook post itself, and then call people to action exactly how you are, where you just have the button that says message on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Okay, so now that I understand, and now that my brain is kind of wrapped around it, let me take a look into what you have done most recently here. So I see herbal shake. Okay, so what I want to teach you first off about Google Ads is that the columns are they create like our scoreboard. The Google Ads interface, the dashboard itself, the columns and rows, the rows being the campaigns, and the columns being each individual bit of data that you can see within each of those campaigns. We can organize the columns by clicking on this button right here. And if you've never clicked on it before, then it'll take you right into here. But like, let's say that we have this column set that we save. The next way that it's going to look is like this, and you'll have your saved column set right here and be able to modify columns. So we are going to leave campaign type just for a moment, and I want to remove interactions, interaction rate, average cost, because that doesn't necessarily make sense. Conversion cost per conversion. We don't need conversion rate right now, and we'll leave bid strategy type. So we want to have clicks, CTR, and CPC. We're going to reorganize these here in a minute. And then we want to add some competitive metrics: search, impression share, and average position. Now that we have those added, we're going to zoom out a little bit so that this right-hand side can show us a little bit more information without having to scroll. I want to move the cost down to the bottom, search impression share to the second slot, average position to the next, and then say impressions, clicks, CPC, CTR, conversions cost per conversion, cost, and then bid strategy type. So we're just going to call this search here because it contains the column headers that we're going to want for our search campaigns.
Okay.
And then I would like to just name that and click save and apply. So we see that both of these campaign types are in fact search. Over the past 30 days, you have bought less than 10%. Hang on, zoom out one more time. There we go. You have bought less than 10% of the traffic at position 2.4 for a cost of 100. What'd you call these? The currency? Rens. Okay, yeah. for the cost of 100 rens. Okay.
So it's about $10. Yeah.
So about $10, which is fairly cheap as far as just what we would typically see inside of a Google Ads account. But regardless, it doesn't necessarily matter how much you're spending. What matters are the results. So you got 4,500 impressions, 90 clicks, an average CPC of 242. That to me seems a bit expensive, just at first glance. And so getting your CPC lower is going to be one of the first goals. But
so that would be what is it, 24 cents?
Yeah, and I'm not super familiar with this particular currency and traffic in South Africa. Yeah. But what we'll typically see is a cost per click that is somewhere in the $1 or below. Actually, I'm gonna hold off on that because I don't have enough information to be able to give a strong recommendation on whether that is too high or not. But what I do know is not strong enough is the CTR. Your CTR, if you're in the second position, the first position you should have about a 30% CTR if you're expecting to really compete and be having an ad that has a super high quality score, like an 8, 9, or 10 on your quality score. You're going to have to get upwards of a 20 or 30% click-through rate. The second position, you'll typically see somewhere around a 10 to 20% click-through rate. And then the third position, if you have anywhere between a 5 and a 10% click-through rate, then you're doing pretty well. So having a 2% click-through rate with a position of 2.4 for the campaign that's spending the most money tells me that the targeting is probably just a little bit too broad. The bullseyes, as you have learned from my other YouTube video, you are probably on the outer edges of the bullseye as far as this goes. So as we go down the row here, you generated 2 conversions for an average cost of 108 rens each. let's just double check what the conversion action is, which it is phone number in detailed section on website, and then secondary call button through Smart Campaign. Interesting. Okay, so if somebody is on here and they click this button, that counts as a conversion?
I'm not sure how I set it up. Oh, you've actually lost me now. I've not lost me, but I don't know how I set it up as a conversion.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do is just identify what these conversions
What was a
are.
conversion here?
So we
I don't
know.
know.
Phone number in detailed section of website, secondary call button on website. So through Smart Campaign doesn't actually matter, because you're probably thinking that the conversions are campaign specific, where the conversions are actually account specific. And so if you set up one conversion like clicked on the phone button, then it will work across every campaign in the account. So I would assume that these two conversions that you have here are actually the same person. And we can verify that by just coming into the keywords and going into the search terms. If I'm going too fast here, just go ahead and stop me.
No, I'm keeping up. I'm keeping up.
Shortcuts as much as possible. But I jumped into the search terms area of your account, and if we go ahead and sort by conversions, we see that these were in fact two separate searches. One person typed in Herbalife diet, and then the other one typed in data entry jobs in order to generate that conversion. So obviously you've said that your Facebook ads are driving all the conversions and all the business for you, but your Google ads have not quite done as much yet. So I would say that these two conversions have not ended up in any business. Is that a correct assumption?
Not as yet, no.
Okay. So what you're going to want to do is, if your primary goal is to get people to click on this button, then you can set up an event, or you can set up a conversion for when people do click on this button. I don't want to go into that in this call because it will get a little bit lengthy. Event, button, click, conversion, Google Ads. You are going to want to use this. So I'm just going to go ahead and paste this in the chat so that you have it for future reference.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. And you're going to want to use these instructions to track clicks on whatever the main button is. If you don't want people to call you, just go ahead and remove that.
Okay.
It doesn't sound to me like that's what you want, nor do you want people to get directions.
Yeah.
And where it says WhatsApp here, I would turn that into a call to action. I would say message us on WhatsApp, not just put WhatsApp, because that, after you remove these two buttons, you're going to have a little bit more space up here. And all of these recommendations are going to be for both this style of landing page or this particular page here. It doesn't necessarily matter what the URL is, what the page is. All these principles are fairly similar. So once you get that conversion on that button, then we'll be able to trust the conversion tracking a little bit more. But just going into the ad itself, I came into the ads tab. So I want to see what ads you're using. This is the ad that is getting the most traffic. So 10-day clean eating challenge, join today. 10-day clean eating challenge, join today. So for ads themselves, I don't love the new ads that Google has, where I believe it's called, responsive search ads. I consider myself an artist, and as an artist, I don't want people messing with my art. The ads, the ads are one of my pieces of art, and if you use these different headlines, then you're giving Google the liberty to modify your art and change it. So, I mean, Coach Oliver, coaching for 9 years, weight loss, that just doesn't make sense. as like
Oh,
that.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starting your ad with high quality products. If somebody were to type in, like looking at the search volume, sorting by impressions, I came back to the search terms here. If somebody were to type in, as soon as the impression, I really got to get better internet. Domestic cleaners jobs. Okay. As you can see, 1% click-through rate. If the ad were to say high quality products and the person typed in domestic cleaners jobs, it doesn't make sense on two aspects. One, domestic cleaners jobs is probably something that you're not going to want to target. That is very outer bullseye.
Yeah.
That is probably maybe even completely outside of the bullseye itself. But Herbalife diet, that is, as we have said before, you got a 13% click-through rate on that particular ad, and that particular search. And let's go ahead and throw in the average position so we can see if my, okay, so you had position 2.4 and you got a 13% click-through rate. This right here is how we interpret whether or not we are in the right area of the bullseye. Having the Herbalife diet search with that 10-day challenge ad is what I would believe is the ad that triggered, because that's the ad that received the most clicks. That getting a 13% click-through rate on position 2.4, that right there is exactly what you look for to indicate to us that this particular search should fall into at least very close to the center of the bullseye. I would still say that this is like the second ring out, because somebody typing in like sign up for Herbalife would be more in like the dead center of the bullseye, or somebody typing in like Herbalife coach, something to that effect. But
or buy Herbalife.
yeah, buy Herbalife, something to that effect. That is telling us that they have more purchase intent than somebody just searching for Herbalife diet. But those are going to be much lower in search volume, and so you are going to still need to utilize other areas of the bullseye. But cleaners and housekeepers, needed jobs, cleaners, domestic workers, domestic cleaners. The number one problem that I see here is just search term.
I didn't even know where those came from.
They came from broad match.
Oh, okay.
Because you have work from home as your broad match keyword. That's where a majority of those just random searches are coming from. So in a couple moments here, I'm waiting for somebody to come to my office. I have about 10 minutes.
No problem.
And so in these final 10 minutes, I want to do some work here. So we're going to go ahead and select that campaign, and we're going to, are you on a Mac or a PC?
PC.
Okay. So all the keyboard shortcuts on a Mac begin with Control, or like the copy and paste begin with Control. So Control C, Control V is the copy and paste function inside Google Ads. If you're on a Mac, then it's just going to be Command C, Command V. So we are going, what I want to do is just lower this to $1 a day, probably end up pausing this. And I'm going to call this original timeout. Okay, that's it. The best part of the video is coming up, but I am not going to post it here on YouTube. I am creating a content library full of all of the full unedited videos. The full video with Oliver was actually about 1 hour and 8 minutes long. And so this content library doesn't exist yet because I'm creating the content. And if you would like me to review your Google Ads account with you, then you can go ahead and check in the description of this video and schedule a call with me. There is a link. It'll be very clear and obvious which link you should click if you would like an account review. Remember, you have to have an active Google Ads account, because if you don't, then we won't really have much to talk about. So it is July 17th, 2019 today, and I have not created this content library yet, but if you're watching this video at any point in the future, then there may be a link to it. And if you would like all of the most access to the most valuable content and strategy that I create, that's where you're going to find it. YouTube is where I have the most beginner and theoretical type content. So I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you have a great day and a wonderful life. And there probably is a video that's popped up on the screen sometime. Maybe it's already been up there, but those videos may be interesting. You can go ahead and watch those now if you haven't yet. And if it's really late, I watch YouTube really late at night most of the time and right before I go to bed. So if that is the case for you, I hope you have a wonderful night and sleep well. If it's the day, then kick butt. You can do this. Bye-bye now.